Now, the car in front of me needs no introduction, but to those of you that don't know, this is a Porsche, as you can see right here, GT3 RS, and it's a very popular car, especially if you like racing on track. Now, Owen, a problem that we've come across more times than we'd like to count is people that believe their car's a race car and i.e. stuck modifications on in an unsafe manner, and as a result thinks that gives them the green card to drive at 130 round a B road. So please kindly explain to everyone watching the difference between a spoiler on a real race car and a spoiler on a not so race car, not like the one that I've got.
This car is designed specifically for use on a track, so it's rear-engined, it's rear-wheel drive, it needs downforce on the back of it, which is what this provides. Now, this is a very, very different design to the metal spoilers or big wings that people put on the back of their Vauxhall Corsas or their Fiestas in McDonald's car parks. So this one is carbon fibre, it's plastic on the edges, and it doesn't extend outside the line of the body of the car. So that is of no danger to a pedestrian or a cyclist, whereas the ones that people put on their small hatchbacks, they're sticking out, you know, the metal blades on the end are like that, it acts like a scythe on anyone else that it would come in contact.
Now, Owen, I do have something to say just to follow that, because I know, and I'm expecting the comments straight away, is it not your fault for walking into my spoiler?
The thing is, there's got to be a rule for everybody, hasn't there? We can't have one rule for one person and one rule for somebody else. So we've got to make these things safe. So everyone is a different road user, different, you know, pedestrians, cyclists, horse riders, everybody that uses the road. Nobody leaves home and thinks, you know what, I'm going to crash today or I'm going to hit that pedestrian, but it happens. And 4 people die every day on the UK roads. So what we need to do is make sure that the cars are as safe as possible in the event of a collision.
So I welcome you guys to BMW here in Exeter, where they have very kindly lent us a BMW M4 competition with 510 horsepower. This thing is Toronto red, and as you can tell, it stands out. Now, we're going to be talking about stretched tyres, because in our comment section, we get so many comments on stretched tyres and all the questions surrounding it. So I'm going to leave it to Owen to break it all down.
Now, whenever we do a video talking about stretched tyres, we get a lot of comments in the comments section that BMW M cars come direct from the factory with a stretched tyre. Now, if you look at this, I can kind of see where you're going at with that, because if you look at the profile of the tyre there, it comes out and it acts as a rim protector as well, but that tyre is not stretched. That tyre is designed to be on that size rim, and that's the key with it. The tyre sidewall is designed to be on a certain size rim, and if you start stretching it, it alters that sidewall, and therefore that tyre is liable to failure. And that's what we look at by the side of the road. And if your tyre is too stretched, then that could be a PG9 prohibition. So nobody wants to get that. So just be really, really careful, get the right size tyre for the correct size rim.
So you've just seen us at BMW, and now we are here at Exeter Hyundai, otherwise known as Bristol Street Motors. And we've actually got a question to ask today, which I think is really relevant. Now imagine you have financed a car, a fast car for that matter, and you want to modify it. That's exactly why we're next to the Hyundai i20N, because believe it or not, it's really popular to slap on an exhaust, an induction kit, slam it on its arse, and move on in regards to having a modified Hyundai i20N. But Owen, from a legal standpoint, what does Kyle do when he buys one of these cars? It's brand new, off the lot. Is he allowed to modify it?
Well, that was a question that I was really interested in, which is why I suggested we came down here. Yeah. And we've spoken to the other dealerships as well about this. And what it is if you've bought that car on a PCP, you don't actually own it until you make the last payment on it.
Very true.
So it still belongs to the finance company.
I must correct you, not the last payment, it's when you've paid off the balloon payment at the end.
Absolutely that. By the time you've paid for the whole thing, that is when you own the car. So we've asked, like I said, we've asked all these dealerships, and they're all saying the same thing, is in general, the finance company doesn't like you modifying the car. However, If you ask the finance company, then there is that possibility that they may say, yeah, okay, we'll let you do that. So you might want to change the wheels. So for instance, the finance company might say, yeah, that's fine, as long as you keep the original wheels, and then you can put those original wheels back on it if we take the car back or if you choose to sell it. So it's a little bit grey. But in essence, if you've got the car on PCP, you don't own it until you've paid for it in full. So you need to be asking the finance company before you make any modifications to the vehicle, because it actually belongs to them.
So we've covered modifying your car if your car's on PCP. But Owen, what do you do when it comes to your manufacturer's warranty? Because surely there must be 101 ways to modify your car, and as a result, your manufacturer just says, we're done with you, go away. So what do you do then?
It's a bit of a difficult one. We've asked the guys at Hyundai here, and what they've said is you can modify the car with Hyundai parts and that won't affect your warranty. However, if you modify it with non-Hyundai parts, so aftermarket parts, then it could. But it depends which part you've modified and which part you're claiming under the warranty. Because if, for instance, you've remapped it, but it's your suspension that's failed and you're claiming on the suspension, then the fact that you've remapped it doesn't matter, because that's not what you're claiming on. So you need to be really, really careful with it. If, however, you remap the car and your engine fails, you've got a big problem, because Hyundai are likely to say, well, hang on a minute, you've remapped it, so we're not going to cover you for that failed engine, and that potentially is going to cost you thousands of pounds.
So through watching Matt Armstrong's videos, because he rebuilds the crash damaged cars that I'm sure you guys all know about, what I did learn is that BMW, for example, actually have software in place that as soon as they plug in your car, they know you've had a tune.
If it's mapped, what is it going to show?
Will flash up.
So is that my warranty voided?
Yeah, then we have to send a case to BMW saying never touch this car.
As you can imagine, I'm not too worried about warranty, but from the sounds of it, BMW can find out whether your car was mapped even if you take it off before it goes in.
If it went bang, then you can say, well, it's had a map, so we're not going to touch it.
That's right. But the thing is, even if it's not got a map on here, that went bang and you brought it in trying to get warranty, BMW can actually search all the old history and actually find out. They can tell you where it went bang and everything else.
So it's definitely something that's worth remembering, because the warranty, when you've spent all that money on a lovely new car, is worth its weight in gold.
The electronic systems inside the cars are so clever. They can tell you everything that has been done to it. So yeah, just be really, really careful with it.